Good morning. The death toll related to flooding in the Pacific Northwest is now up to 17. Countless numbers have been injured and thousands chased from their homes by foul weather that's lasted more than a week. The area's swollen waterways have turned roads into rivers, carrying all sorts of debris through city streets. Already 70 counties in 5 states have been declared disaster areas today, Friday, January 3rd, 1997.
From NBC News, this is Today with Bryant Gumbel and Katie Couric, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
And good morning. Welcome to Today on this, thank you very much. On this Friday morning, a Friday in which for the, I guess for the 4th straight morning, we have to greet you with bad news from the Pacific Northwest. The rivers over there have overflowed, and already 70 counties in 5 states, Utah, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, and parts of California have already been overrun by the water, and that's a terrible story we've been following all week long.
That's right. We're going to keep up with that at the news desk, and we greet you with some sad news from New York City because, as many people know by now, and as those signs indicated, this is Bryant's last morning on the Today Show. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm okay. A little bit apprehensive. This is the first time I ever spent the night before a broadcast with really nothing to do.
Yes, in fact, Brian has a handle on what will be on the show, perhaps better than anyone, and we should show folks at home what your script looked like.
Zero, blank
this
pages.
Morning.
Blank pages. They have managed to keep this whole thing a secret. Usually I'm a bit of a control freak, and so
Oh, really? This just in.
So I've got the routine here on my left and the script here on the right, and the routine they gave me is also blank. And everybody's walking around with theirs, but they're hiding it like somebody's little secret and
well, I
tucking
can
it away
tell
in their
you
pocket.
that the next 2 hours are going to be packed with memories, a few surprises, and a large supply
of these.
Well,
I got 3 hankies working. One here, one in the outside pocket, and one back here.
So good. I'm glad you brought one for me.
We'll see who's quick on the draw.
Well, fasten your seatbelt, enjoy the ride, because it's going to be a joy ride.
Thank you very much. I'm anxious to see what happens. Okay, let's get to the serious business first, and let's go on over to the news desk. Matt fills us in on the flooding and much, much more. Matt, good morning. How you doing?
All right, Bryant, good morning to you. Katie, good morning, everyone. 52-20. This morning, in its final poll, the Associated Press picked Florida #1, Ohio State #2, and Florida State #3. It is the Gators' first national championship. And at 7:05, that's a look at the news. Back over now to Bryant, Katie, and Al.
All right, Matt, thanks so very much. Turn our attention to the weather. Mr. Rocaire, how are you, sir? Is that the copy of it?
That's the rundown.
We're torturing him.
Want to see? Want to see it again?
And here we go. On Close Up this morning, Bryant. As everyone knows by now, this is your last morning on this program here on Today. Since coming here 15 years ago, you've broadcast 7,500 hours of live TV, interviewed about 12,000 guests. Can you believe that? Asked about 160,000 questions. And as you'll see as we look back now, reported on every major news event of the last 15 years.
30 back. Come on in. Come on up.
Get something funny to do, Brian.
Somebody on 4. We have a tape. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here's what we know at this hour. Flight 800 bound for Paris went down shortly after 8 o'clock last night. You're looking at a live picture of what's left of the Federal Building in Oklahoma City.
I have OJ in the car.
Millions watched as Simpson took police on a bizarre chase through Los Angeles. There are plenty of questions being raised about the way the siege ended. The violence erupted after the acquittal of 4 white policemen in the beating trial of black motorist Rodney King. The waiting is over in the Gulf. The war has begun. Welcome to Saudi Arabia. In keeping with Pentagon wishes, we cannot tell you our exact location. Obviously, the people of the Bay have taken a beating, but they're anxious to get on with their lives. The numbers are terrible. All 258 aboard are dead.
Challenger, go and throttle up.
The toll in Lebanon now stands at 161 Americans dead. Good morning. This is Today, Monday, January 4th, 1982. I'm Bryant Gumbel. I will resist the urge to say sitting in for Tom Brokaw.
The Today program had been an important part of my early years. I thought it was part of our kind of national treasure, if you will. And I knew that Bryant Gumbel would take care of it.
I remember being told when I first took the job that the idea was that you just held on to it for a little while, that it really wasn't yours, that it was much bigger than that, and that you should try to leave it in better shape than you came to it. And I've always kind of remembered that.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm just getting in.
The sleep, I know everybody wants to make a big deal of, but I never did. There's a lot of people in this world who get up very early for an awful lot less. They don't want to hear you griping about it.
His work ethic impresses me on a daily basis, and I mean whether it's preparing for the president or preparing for Martha Stewart. He will put in the time to do that interview.
It's the perfect pie crust.
Perfect. 2½ cups of all-purpose flour.
He is extremely seamless on the air, and he's an excellent live broadcaster. I think he's one of the best in the business, if not the best.
I think there are very few jobs, if any, on this earth where you could each and every day look forward to dealing with a prime minister, followed by a prize-winning author, followed by a famous cook, followed by the latest Hollywood ingenue. I think that kind of variety is absolutely wonderful.
Wow, I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't. I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't. So good, so good. I got you. Wow.
Before I ever got in television, I'd never even been west of the Mississippi. Before I went away to college, I'd never even been on a plane. Going overseas, you gotta be kidding.
I'm a traveling man, made a lot of stops all over the world.
Buenos dias, bienvenidos al hoy en Buenos Aires. Good morning and welcome to Today from Buenos Aires. Dobre utro, Jane, and welcome to the Soviet Union. Good morning, Katie, or as the locals here would say, Manguanani. Welcome to Dublin, or as I understand the natives call it, Balya Akria. Welcome to Saudi Arabia, where the correct greeting is Salam Alaikum. And bon dia, benviendo in Oji no Rio. I knew I'd mess it up. Good morning and welcome to Today from Rio.
I see trees of green, red roses too.
Just another day at the office.
Yes, just another day in the office. The Sphinx was protected under sand until 1926. We are very proud of the fact that we are the first broadcast to come out of Ho Chi Minh City live.
What a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky.
The Zimbabwe side
are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands.
Happy Easter, Your Holiness.
How do you do?
My goodness. This is a whole different world, Kevin. Thank you very much.
I believe that if you were to get him in the weakest moment, he would probably say the greatest thing about the travel is not necessarily seeing the Colosseum, but eating in an Italian restaurant, because he likes to eat.
Bryant loves food.
He loves to eat.
I love to eat. I've always loved to eat.
I'll have some clam chowder followed by beefsteak on rye, pumpkin pie with cream and coffee.
Do you know what I ate last night? Duck feet. The head cheese is spectacular. What about a little pate? You're sure I can't interest you in a peanut butter stuffed jalapeno? How does one eat a winkle? A winkle. How does one eat a winkle?
I want a green salad on the side. Don't forget the French fried pizza pie, garlic and anchovy.
That should last you a couple weeks.
Yes, thank you very much. You know what else you got to taste while you're here? Jellyfish. I think we have to get a couple of sea urchins for Katie. This is pretty good. You want more?
No, go ahead. Knock yourself out.
I'll try anything. And over my time here, I've eaten witchetty grubs, which are moth larvae. I've drank snake blood. I've eaten, ate a live caterpillar. I don't believe I just did that. There isn't a lot I won't try, with one exception. Cheese. It's time to do fromage. I'm going in.
Here's a guy who, eats peppers that would take most people's heads off. Yet you show him a grilled cheese sandwich and he faints.
Speaking of food, then there was the garlic incident. The famous, because he's got a bit of a mean streak.
And you always serve garlic with it?
This was in Seoul, right before the Olympics in South Korea. He hands me this, what I think is a water chestnut or something, and I put it in my mouth.
I've seen it kind of looks like garlic, but it's more...
I had to excuse myself.
She's really whipping out on me. Kimchi. What else do we got here?
This is a whole garlic.
He's probably one of the sickest little puppies I've ever met. I remember one time he had a pie and he was fooling around with Jane. No. He said, "Come on, sit down, nothing's gonna happen."
Seriously, look, Jeff was saying
the grizzly bear.
And just like that, boom, like a cobra.
I'll see. It's a beautiful morning. I think I'll go outside for a while. Just taking some clean, fresh air for me.
Come here, Bryant, give me a hug. Oh.
I think it's very moving and poignant when Bryant reveals himself in an unexpected way. Oftentimes he has this tough exterior, which makes it all the more moving when he does become emotional. At the end of our Africa show, this was something that Bryant had fought for a long time, that he believed in intensely. He really poured his heart and soul into that trip. At the end, when he signed off from Africa, it just made you cry.
This has been a week that none of us, I don't think, will ever forget. It's a week befitting our 40th anniversary.
It sure is.
It is that. Dave Garroway was this program's first host. He had a very simple sign-off. That was very much his. We will use it just this one time. I'm going to try it just this once. For Africa and from Africa. Peace.
Everybody has an image of Bryant as a tough interviewer or a tough guy. But what's special about Bryant are those moments when the real Bryant comes out.
Arthur Ashe died of pneumonia and other complications from his battle with AIDS.
I was going to try to come up with some kind of a personal statement about Arthur. I want to show you some pictures, though, from the collection. I didn't want to show you any that would...
Okay, this is who? This is Arthur and Kimma.
In camera, yeah.
There was no need to see Bryant. Everyone in America knew how he felt. And we made the decision in the control room. I said, just stay on the photo and go to commercial.
I'm sorry. Boy, I didn't do this one very well.
That's all right, Bryant.
What are you going to miss about being here?
It's all I've known for 15 years. So what am I going to miss? I don't know. I mean, I miss dumb things. I will miss the interaction of the troops here in the studio. Good morning, all. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Chair, Lou? I'd pick up my cup and I'd throw it. I miss that. Whoa! I miss taking jabs at cameramen. Those kinds of relationships, I will miss a great deal.
I'm going to really miss his presence because he has such a presence. And it's going to be very strange for me not to have Bryant sitting next to me in the morning.
I don't know what I'm going to feel or how I'm going to feel on January 3rd. I don't want to think about it.
I would hope that people would simply say, hey, you know what? For 15 years, he has shown up for work every day. He's shown up prepared. He worked hard, and he was real consistent. And if that's what they say, then that's plenty for me, because I'm very proud of that. I really am. That was very nice. Who did that?
Jason Rapp did that.
That was terrific work.
Beck Schoenfeld also worked very hard. She's your personal historian. She knows absolutely everything about you.
Beck's a good story, and Beck's story is worth revealing because it said something that's special about this program, which is I met Beck at Bates College, and she said this is what she wanted to do. She came down here, asked for an interview, and I got an interview with some people, and she got hired, and she's been with us now for, what, 3 years, I think?
Right.
And has been terrific.
She's great, and you've been great to her, and I know she really appreciates it. So you doing okay?
Yeah,
everybody in here is crying already, so it's going to be a tough couple of hours.
I like the thing with the food on the chin. Thank you very much.
That was very attractive. Anyway, we're going to be back in a moment with the first of many goodbyes this morning. But first, this is a very special edition of Today on NBC.
That's very nice, Trace. Thank you.
See you later, alligator.
We're back 7:30 on this Friday morning. I was trying to see if that was live or if it was taped.
It was live. Yes, it was live. Everyone knows that sports.
Who are those folks who did that?
Those are our core of NBC pages, orchestrated by America's one and only card trick professional, Scott Givens. Would you like to see them do it again? I don't think they can. Maybe an instant replay, Brian, but I'm not sure it's that easy.
Our pages can do it, yeah. It's those great uniforms that can do it. That's the new, oh, that's right. It's blue on blue. That's right. Got rid of the gray one down below. Thank you very much. That is very, very nice. Wow.
The signs are out in full force.
We're going to get to go on out a little bit later, right?
That's right. We're going to go out and talk to the crowd and let them say goodbye to you personally, because obviously there are a lot of well-wishers out there this morning. Or that much money to pay them, right? You always call Fridays a getaway day. Yep. And this one really is for Bryant, a getaway morning. And we're going to have the first of several surprise special guests in this half hour.
Do I get hints?
No hints.
No?
No hints allowed, but I think you'll be very pleased.
Uh-oh.
We also, for people just joining us, had a wonderful retrospective of your career.
That was very nicely done. Jason
hour.
Raff and Beck Schoenfeld did a terrific job
And
on
Jason and Beck both worked very, very hard. I think that might, we could arrange that. But Jason has spent many, many sleepless nights here. And he's going to have a big party now that he's through with that piece, because he's been dreaming about you at night, Brian.
I wouldn't say dream's the proper word, but that's all right.
We're also going to be visited by some of the ghosts of today's show's past. Jane Pauley, Joe Garagiola, among them.
Good.
And, of course, Willard.
Outstanding.
So, but first we're going to have some news headlines. And here's Matt.
All right, Katie, thanks very much. Good morning, everyone. Thousands of people in Northern California are out of their homes this morning as rain-swollen rivers continue on the rampage. Almost 100,000 people who live along the Feather River were advised to leave after a levee broke Thursday. In Nevada, the Truckee River overflowed, sending water cascading through the streets of Reno. All right, Al, thanks very much. People are always asking Bryant who the favorite person is that he's ever interviewed. And he's pretty careful not to mention one name. But whenever I've been with him and the question's been asked, he always puts one name very close to the top of the list. It comes up over and over again. And that's why we are thrilled that person and his wife really wanted to be here today.
Hey,
Bryant,
Lonnie.
Muhammad Ali, and his wife, Lonnie.
How you doing, Ben? How are you?
Fine.
How you doing? Who's this? Who'd you bring with you? Who'd you bring with you?
Somebody you might know.
How you doing?
Hi, Katie.
Huh?
See you too.
You all right?
Hi, Lonnie. How are you?
Huh?
Nice to see you.
It's good seeing you. Thank you for coming by today. Thank you very much. It's very nice of you to come on by. Sit down. Sit down, relax, stay a while.
Lonnie, I know that you and Muhammad have talked a lot about Bryant. Are there certain words that come to your mind when you hear this man's name?
This may be my only chance to say this. Handsome.
Bryant, needless to say, we could not say farewell and bid you adieu without the usual cast of characters.
Usual suspects?
From today's show past, of course, I'm talking about your good friend, Jane Pauley.
She just said I'm like a sponge, and she's right. You squeeze me and it comes right out of here. I don't know what's going on.
And Willard,
Skinny Willie.
is here.
Skinny
Willie.
And seeing the champion here with you, I mean, that's the most beautiful part of this parade. It's got to go
wonderful?
absolutely gorgeous.
And don't forget Joe. What do you call
Forget
Joe?
it. Say something vicious.
No, every time I see him, I call him Grudgy Fanola.
Yeah. Among other things.
But,
Crunchy granola? Anyway, all these folks have wonderful memories to share with you, and Jane's going to go first.
Well, Bryant and I literally saw the world together. I think every hemisphere we've traveled to, and I've got to say, Bryant never lost his enthusiasm, whether it was Rio or China or Australia or San Antonio or Memphis. He always had coordinated outfits, which always worked with one pair of shoes. He knew how to travel, this man did.
Limited supply.
And he never had jet lag. No. Ever. Well, maybe there was just that once, but I was blah, 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 blah. This man never had jet lag in all the places we went to.
This morning we are greeting you across the expanse of the Coliseum.
Ni men hao.
That is.
Hello, everyone.
But see, these coats do look nice on somebody else.
You look terrific.
I'm really not sure who's enjoying this less, Kissy over here or me.
Bryant had very lovely calves.
Oh, that's true. Can I get electrocuted standing in this rain holding this mic?
I don't know.
People were coming to me and they were going, excuse me, Herman, could you introduce me to Jane Pauley? You didn't make it with the boys the other night when we managed to go down to Monte Carlo. How come?
What?
You didn't make it the other night with It's so nice we've had this time together.
You do this with, like a man who's had some practice.
I've done it once or twice.
Gotta say one last thing. The best, of course, was our moment with the Pope. And we took little items for the Pope to bless. And I took a picture of my twins, and I say gemelli in that picture. And it just dawned on me this morning that we were the gemelli. We're the yin and the yang. We're the fraternal twins. God knows I love you.
You're sweet. Thank you, darling. Thank you very much.
Now, Willard promises he's not going to kiss you, but he does have, oh, well, I guess he
I
doesn't
didn't promise I wasn't going to kiss him, no.
But he's got a memory, too.
That was, well, let's kiss again. One little. Kiss again. That's the European way. Now, we do that every time we come on this set every morning. Yeah. Joe and I were going to moon you, but I don't think we're too far away.
That would be all. We also don't have a camera that was
bad. Well, we were going to put our heads together. Don't get the wrong idea. That's right. And don't you folks worry about Mr. Gumbel because of his pineapple plantation in Maui and his great holdings. He bought stock in Tucker. And what was that other car that you had stock in?
Edsel.
Edsel, that's the one. There is a show that shows what I think may be the insight as to what Bryant's new career may be. Let's roll the videotape. I think Mr. Gumbel's new career. Heavy rains in upstate New York and Pennsylvania today, and from western New York State down through Pennsylvania into West Virginia, where, there you go, and into western North Carolina, some heavy fog this morning. Notice, hey, that's the best thing I've seen yet on the show. Look at that. We also have some scattered thunder showers, warm and muggy and humid in the southeast. See that high pressure over there? High. Anyway, that's the Bermuda high, typical of this time of the year, lazy, crazy, hazy dog days of August. Now, we have some heavy downpours around New Orleans today and also East Texas. That's good for East Texas. All the help they can get down there, they're grateful. The biggest problem is still in West Texas. They may get a fuchsia. Thank you. Move it a little bit. Go west, young man. Good chances from, yeah, that's moving west. Good chances from scattered showers in New Mexico and maybe even some heavy thunder boomers.
You remember that old map?
That's that old map is still here, baby.
Remember
yeah, the magnetic
used that map in how many years? 10 years?
Everything's electronic now. So I mean, you know, they do it with the graphics and everything. But I just want to, may I say one thing on a half serious note, because I mean this sincerely. I've always said you judge a man by the way the crew and the people and makeup and the support system, how they react to him. Everybody in this building loves Bryant Gumbel. You walk into makeup, you walk in up to the, the boardroom section, you come in the studio, the crew has loved you for years, and I mean that with all my heart. I've observed that firsthand, and I just think that that's the greatest tribute you'll ever get.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you very much.
Good luck. And take me with you. I'm not doing it.
Hey, take me.
It's been good. Thank you, Bill. Thank you very much.
God bless.
Never mind, tell you, I had a guy run into me at O'Hare say, "You Joe Garrett's Joe?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Whatever happened to you?" I said, "I died." But, there's so many things I want to say about Brian, and there's not enough time. I just remember the early days. The thing I'm happiest about is, first of all, I compare what Brian did with what Jackie Robinson did in baseball. There's no question about it. There was no black in an important seat on television until Brian. And when we talked, that's one of the things we talked about, Brian, and I don't think people appreciate the pressure that you went under those early days. And there's so many memories. You know how much I love you. But there's one day in my life that when I was inducted into the broadcast wing into the Hall of Fame, I'll never forget that. My family was with me and my best friends, and you were standing right next to Yogi.
Good morning. Welcome to Main Street, Cooperstown, New York. And welcome to Today for a Friday Morning, a program that for at least half of which we might well call Joe Garagiola, This Is Your Life.
I tell you, it's an emotional roller coaster. It's beginning. This is great.
I saw you last night in the hotel lobby, and you were kind of mellowed out. You had a lot of people up here. What, you got 16 Garagiolas in with you?
Yeah, like Eisenhower invading Normandy.
And you were very mellowed out, but now it's getting a little bit closer.
Yeah, it is. I'm starting to feel the hockey game beginning down here. Yeah. Seeing all those greats.
We got a lot of surprises ahead today.
Yeah,
I think you're going to enjoy part of it.
I could tell by the look on your face they're surprised.
I can't get misty-eyed yet. I mean, it's 7:01. Give me time. Maybe by 9 o'clock.
There's nothing to be ashamed about being misty-eyed. My father used to always say that there's a safety valve on your heart when the tears come out. And Brian, I usually agitate you, but I can't. This is a sad day for me. I'm going to miss you on the show, but we'll still be in touch.
Thank you.
You guys have a special friendship.
I dragged him back here years ago.
I know
Yes, you did. I remember when you called. You wouldn't tell me what it was for.
Well, we're glad you did. And we're glad you stayed. In the meantime, we're going to have much more ahead.
Okay.
But first, this is a very special edition of Today on NBC.
That was nice.
Thank you, Bryant. Thank you. There we
Well, welcome back. This, of course, a morning that's filled with a lot of memories, a lot of clips, and we've got a few more. Bryant, you have interviewed more celebrities, more famous people in these last few more years than any of us can ever remember. Recently, some of them described what it feels like to face you from the other chair.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bryant Gumbel.
Let's talk dirt, you and me.
Okay, what?
Okay, let's talk gossip.
Okay, you want to talk about the Oscars?
An interview with Bryant, it's kind of like having great sex.
The sex scenes in the film are going to get an awful lot of attention. They are erotic.
Are they?
I think most would say they're
Did you think that?
parts of them.
The crocodile had a guy in it, you know, when you're wrestling. And look at you. We'll talk. We'll be right back.
I think everyone's pretty familiar of how direct and how strong his questioning is.
North, as a book, was described by its author as a worst seller.
Yes.
When it came out. So why do a book? Why do a movie about it?
Good question, Brian.
I love that.
Are you always as good as you seem?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, what upsets you?
He's incredibly direct and unafraid to address and to comment and to disagree, which is something I find very powerful.
Well, I remember driving him in the race car. Yeah, he was a good passenger. He was quiet.
This is my favorite turn right here.
I thought, well, you know, maybe I should take this corner just a little hot and see how he handles it.
This one will get your attention. That a bill. I like that one.
He did very well, though, I must say. He did very well.
He brings in a very human element and adapts himself to the person he's talking to.
At the risk of sounding insulting, this is a very grown-up movie.
Yes.
Do you understand this movie?
He's always made me feel proud. He represented such, like I said, intelligence and integrity, and really carried that show for what has it been, 15 years.
And he's confident in a way that only the great journalists have ever been confident.
If you want to sound like an intellectual and ask something stupid, then you say,
Go ahead,
well,
guys.
you're going to do that.
What are the most common questions you get from people you run into?
People always ask me if I want to be a woman.
Do you?
No.
Okay.
No, he's not that smart, but he dresses really well.
I'm back, right, let me get the knees straight away and start feeling the beautiful material. There we go.
How are you?
You're so luxurious,
Thank
you
you,
really are.
Thank you,
And I
Tracy.
like the part.
Do you?
It's worth a try.
I love this man.
You buy it?
Wow, she's easy.
No slight intended.
Yes, you're
But
slighting
the geese are the stars of this film.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know that going in. And right near the end of the interview, right near that last question, he goes, is there a reason as to why the movie got a PG rating?
How'd you wind up with a PG rating on this? I mean, with a PG rating instead of a G.
The geese are naked.
Gotcha.
Laugh. No time to do another question. Out he goes.
I just set him up. You just pop him out, right?
I gumbled Gumbel. It was beautiful.
He gumble, and that's hard to do.
Jeff's a good guy.
Anyway, we're going to be back with much more on this very special and sad Friday morning right after these messages.
I shouldn't eat the lemon. It'll look awful.
We've had card tricks, so why not toss in a marching band for this very special morning? That particular one is the Queens Village Youth Marching Band under the baton of Frank Padula. Loves Bryant.
Thank you very much.
A lot of people do,
Appreciate
and they're
that.
all gathered outside. And of course, there are millions of people at home watching this morning.
Did we say it
love
was
you
8
too.
o'clock on January 3rd?
No, we didn't.
1997?
It is.
Second hour of today. Getaway morning, all that other stuff.
You feel a little uncomfortable not being able to talk,
Well,
don't you?
it's bizarre. I mean, I have nothing I'm supposed to say.
Get out of control, Gumbel.
It's killing him. Well,
It's unnerving.
We have an awful lot planned.
Okay.
You think the first hour was great.
I thought it was terrific.
This hour is going to
I don't know
be
if anybody else did, but
just as wonderful, or at least we think so. But before we get to any of that, Gene Shalit, who's been with the Today Show longer than anybody, has something he wants to say. Here he is.
The extent of my sadness at Brian's leaving today is inexpressible. I learned from him, I laughed with him, and I'm going to miss seeing him come down the hall and, you know, whenever he passed the open door of my office, he'd yell out his nickname for me. Hey, green salad! I don't mind saying publicly that today, green salad is wilted.
Miss Gino, he is here today, isn't he?
Yes, I think he'll be making an appearance momentarily.
He's downstairs
as far as I
directing?
know.
What show are you doing?
No, he's not. Anyway, as I said, we've got an awful lot planned, but the news desk awaits, and we turn to Matt Lauer now.
All right, folks, thanks very much.
Excuse me.
Let's do our... A lot of them were sad, you know, I'm kidding. Let's go outside and Al's got another check of the weather. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Al.
Hi, guys. You know, they talk about Yankee Stadium as the house that Ruth built. This studio that we have right here and this little stretch of real estate that we do our show every morning is as much a responsibility of you, Bryant, as just about anybody. You always talk about here we are in the corner of Rockefeller Plaza and West 49th Street. Well, as of today, as of this moment, it is no longer Rockefeller Plaza, but we like to change its name to Bryant Gumbel Way. So from henceforth, this program will be done from the corner of West 49th Street and Bryant Gumbel Way. You wanted your name
Surely
on a
you
sign?
jest.
No, this is it, my friend.
It's not temporary.
It's
Oh,
not
come on,
temporary.
it's temporary.
No,
it's not.
Oh.
It is
Oh,
not
it is.
temporary.
Yes, it is.
It is
Sorry,
temporary.
it's
Yes,
temporary, Bryant.
I think, yeah, I know. Look, the mayor's a well-intentioned person, but I
Hey,
mean,
I'm going to
he's
talk to
open for
Rudy
votes,
about
pal.
this.
Huh?
He's looking for a big vote.
Thank you, Albie.
Well, listen, there are a lot more people here who would like to say hi. What would you like to say to Brian?
We love you, Brian! Bye!
Jesus, love you. Back inside.
Al, something tells me he'll be out there to personally thank them.
We're going outside at 8:30.
June's here.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Al, thanks a lot. Now, under the heading Turnabout is Fair Play, we've invited 3 famous people who've been interviewed by Bryant to have the last word and tell us a little more about what it's like to face off with the man.
Did I enjoy being interviewed by Bryant Gumbel?
Your critics say you walked away from it.
I didn't
Why
walk
didn't you
away.
press it?
I pressed it. What do you mean, enjoy?
All right, but these people are out there. The committees are still going to be the same, and you know that.
I think he is one of the best, fairest, toughest interviewers in the entire business.
He makes you as smart as you can be. By asking you smart questions, you reach out and reach in and become smarter for it.
Would you reject the idea that this whole movie could be viewed as a parable of Christ?
Oh gosh, I've never even thought of that.
He's provocative, he's smart, and he's funny, and like he's a little devilish.
I was going to surprise you with this because I had heard that you actually got very adept.
I did. I always wanted to go back on the show with a real whip and give him a lesson. And now I'm not going to get the opportunity.
My. All right, now here's Bryant and another surprise guest with something special to say to him. Bryant?
All right, I have no idea who it is, but I'm about to find out who is guest number 2. Oh, Maya.
Good morning.
How are you, darling?
Good morning, darling.
Maya Angelou. Hi, babe.
Oh, babe.
How you doing?
It really has come to this.
Nice to see you. Did you bring my poem?
Of course.
Oh, you get out. You never really did write it, did you?
Well, for men?
Yes.
Yes, no. I leave
Yeah,
that to you.
thank you
You'll
very
have a lot of time, I'm sorry to say,
Huh?
to write a poem.
You think so?
I know you will. I know you will. You'll write a wonderful poem for men, about men and how much they love ladies.
And we should backtrack that every time you come on here, I ask you to read, and you're always doing things in praise of women, and justifiably so and understandably so.
Yeah.
But I had teased you, wondering at what point you were going to write a poem in tribute to men. And you had always promised me you would.
I promise you I still will write one for you. This, I wrote something, which
Did you
is
really?
not a poem. It doesn't pretend to be a poem, but I wrote something about you. So I'm going to read it. And end with a few lines from Robert Hayden's poem about Frederick Douglass. 5,475 yesterdays ago, the young Bryant Gumbel, handsome as Apollo, and Paul Robeson, and in confidence as rich as Croesus, agreed to speak to and for America and Americans, whether they were ready for you or not. We watched you carefully, even cautiously at first, observed your modest afro and purely American air. For in you, we found the essential American, and that theme which is, yes, I can. We learned to admire, respect, and accept you, and even though those who didn't were obliged to admit that you did profound homework and that you were intelligent. Americans who break the surface in our large and possibly ungainly country change things. The Neil Armstrongs, the Rosa Parks, the Chuck Yeagers, the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's, and, of course, you. You have changed things profoundly. You have no idea of the lives which will grow out of your life of 15 years here at NBC. All those people outside respect you and speak of you, but there are children who will hear your name and be better, be larger, be greater, hope for something. In this world, you have represented not only Black Americans, which was so important to us, especially during these last years and the O.J. Simpson debacle. We had to watch that, but we were also able to turn the television to you, and there you are, clean-cut, dapper, handsome, confident, and intelligent, always intelligent. So I know the questions are, what will you do? And maybe you don't know, maybe. Where will you go? Maybe you don't know. But we do know who you will be. You will be independent, insistent, intelligent, and fair. Probably fair would be the one word. And I agree that you're handsome, that you're a good-looking chap now. But probably fair would be the word I would use most to describe you. You will have always an elegant air and a healthy sense of humor. And you're most endearing when you laugh at yourself, which you do often. And that, again, gives us something to look forward to. Your sense of humor tells us that all the things you will be, above them all, you will be missed, terribly missed. African Americans will miss you, white Americans will miss you, Asian Americans, Spanish-speaking, Native Americans, we will miss you terribly. So I'm hoping that you will get out there one day, stand out there in that crowd, and let some adept and deft photographer find your face in that crowd, and you will say something to us. Tell us what we already know, which is that you love us.
Maya, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
You know I love you dearly.
I know it, and I love you.
You still owe me the poem.
I will write a poem for you. You can't do it on order. Thank you, man.
Okay?
Thank you.
You stay safe. We're going to come on back in just a moment. I'm told there's still more ahead, although I have no idea what. Stay with us right after this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We wanted to take a few seconds here, Bryant, we meaning the regular morning team, to tell you a little bit and share a little bit about what you mean to us, which is certainly different for each of us, but also important for each of us. And Al's going to start this.
Well, all I can say is it's been my honor. It's been my privilege. And this last year and a half where I've gotten to work with you full-time has meant more to me than almost anything other than my daughter's birth and my marriage. And I will cherish everything we've shared.
Thank you, Bill.
That's all I can say.
Thank you very, very much. You know that.
I'm going to tell you that in my opinion, and in many other opinions, you are the best interviewer on television. You are fair, you're compassionate, you're probing, you always do the right thing. You have shown me and created such a terrific example and set such high standards for me. But most importantly, beside the professional things you've done for me, I thank you for your friendship. You've been my best friend over these past 4 years, and I'll miss working with you every day, but I know we'll see each other a lot.
Bryant, it's hard to believe that your last day is here. You're taking your leave, your next step unclear. Oh my God, is this rhyming? Oh yes, Bryant dear, I've written an ode to your brilliant career. With apologies to Yeats, Keats, and Percy B. Shelley, let's pay special tribute to your years on the telly.
Oh, that's nice.
Your first job out of school, selling cardboard boxes, was replaced with reports of red and white soxes. At sports, you were nimble. At sports, you were quick. When it came to live TV, you learned every trick. You'd remember with ease every stat, play, and score, but the talent scouts knew you were destined for more. Today came your way. He's a sports guy, they jeered. 'Twas a matter of months for your talent they cheered. You and Jane P. were the team of the 80s, informing and charming the gents and the ladies. You were sharp, you were with it, and oh yeah, that fro. You traveled to places we all wish to go. When I entered the picture after a few rocky years, you welcomed me and helped assuage all my fears. You gave me some rope but did not let me hang. So what will this yin do without her yang? We're two distinct people, you know that is true. Our differences many, similarities few. Gershwin, Cole Porter, and girl groups are me. Santana and Prince are more your cups of tea. I favor tennis, you fancy golf. In fact, your addiction at times makes me Rolf. I love the theater, you love movies gory. I even like cheese, and we all know that story. Folks know you're not bashful when it comes to a feast. Do they know that you're prone to yawn like a beast? They see a strong anchor who's, yes, in control. Do they know what it's like when you get on a roll? But let me suck up for a minute or two. You're the top of the morning, there's no other you. Perspicacious, pugnacious, persistent, and proud. You may not be a schmoozer, but you can work a crowd. Your smarts and your skills cannot be denied. You hone right on in and you let nothing slide. You're a hard nut to crack, but inside you're like butter. You can be a sweetheart and an annoying big brother. While I've made it clear you're perfectly sluggable, there are times when you are, dare I say it, quite huggable. So gather ye rosebuds while ye may. Carpe diem, Bryant, go seize the day. I wish you much happiness in this new life you lease. But most of all, Bryant, I wish you peace.
That was terrific. You wrote that all by your lonesome?
All by my lonesome.
How long did you work on that puppy?
About a week.
That's really very good.
So I may not be Maya Angelou, but it comes from the heart.
That's very, very good. Thank you,
Well,
dear.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'll give you a signed copy to keep
all
in your
right.
scrapbook.
And you're going to do terrific. You know that. You're going to do absolutely wonderful. And you, I love you. We're going to come on back in just a little bit, right?
Right, with another special guest.
Thank you very much.
Right after these messages.
That was very, very nice.
Thank you. Very. We're back here on this very special Friday morning with, oh my gosh.
Things are getting far too bloody emotional around here.
Hello, Tracy.
You're so soppy. Look at you.
Hello, darling.
Think of it this way, Bryant. You get to play a lot more.
A lot
Look
more.
at this.
A lot more.
A lot more,
A lot
mate.
more.
We're back at 8:30 on this Friday morning, a special Friday.
Tricks.
Saying farewell to Bryant after 15 years. And we've come outside so you can talk to some of these folks personally. That car trick incidentally done, courtesy our core of NBC pages. Very well done.
Very well done, guys. Thank you very much.
thank you all very, very much. I appreciate
How long
it.
have you all been working on this?
We've been working since we came in about 4:45 this morning.
Wow. Brian, they came in at 4:45 to work on that
Did you
clip.
really? And are you all in overtime?
Meanwhile, why don't we go say a hello or a goodbye to a couple
Well,
of
I was looking at this. Look at this. Now, this lady, how are you?
Fine, how are you,
Let me
Brian?
see this picture.
I met you in Philly.
In Philadelphia.
3 years ago. Here's a sweatshirt.
Why, thank you so very much.
I
That's
got it
nice.
off with just Brian. I loved you for 15 years, and I'm going to miss you.
Well, thank you very much, Charlie. That's nice of you.
I think most viewers of this show know that you and I played a little golf together, traveled around the country, played quite a bit. People always ask me, you know, how we do on the course, and I don't know why they're curious, but I always say we're even. Is that fair?
That's fair. That's
Yeah?
fair. That's
you
fair.
win
We don't,
as much as I win?
yeah, and we don't give strokes. We
No.
play even.
Yeah, but one thing we're not even about is that I love golf. You are obsessed.
You're
with
obsessed.
golf. No, you're obsessed with golf. And every once in a while, you manage somehow to sneak it into the conversation.
The greatest golfer in the 35-year history of today is Bryant Gumbel.
Dear Lord, is there golf in heaven? Are there fairways, cart paths, and grass? If there's no golf in heaven, do you think I might come back and play on a heavenly path?
Well, I hear he hit a seagull for the birdie of the day.
Did you play golf?
I've tried it once, and I was awful at it. What? No, I know it's fun, but it was just so tough.
We should go sometime with Brian. Would you like to take us sometime? Could we borrow your clubs? I don't have my own yet.
I don't think this is a great idea,
There
really.
was a survey that said in Golf Magazine, if you had to give up sex forever or golf, which would it be? And he said, he didn't hesitate. And I'm sure he's serious. He said sex.
Maybe you just never had a great round of golf, Al.
So we
You're obsessed, too.
I'm not as obsessed as you are. So we had...
you guys work this out later, okay?
Breakfast with the Bickersons. We had golf in the back of our mind, and when we set out to try and figure, when I say we, I mean all of us, the cast, the crew, the producers, all the people at NBC News, we wanted to buy you something and get you something on your last day to show you how much you mean to us. What do you get for the guy who has everything? We couldn't afford to buy you your own golf course. So we found something that we think is the next best thing, and we asked a very talented man to help us out with our plans. So let's say hi to Leroy Neiman.
Oh, my goodness. Leroy, where are you? Hey.
There he is.
Hey.
How you doing, Leroy? Nice seeing you.
I got
Seen each other since the fights. How are you? Nice seeing you. You know everybody here. You know Katie.
Hi, nice to see
You know Matt. You know Al.
Yeah. Of course I know Al. How are you?
Leroy, have a seat there.
All right.
We asked for a very special favor, and he was awfully gracious in obliging us. And first of all, before we unveil this, how difficult a task was this?
Well, you're talking about, I'm going to reveal I painted Brian.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, well, he's a very handsome man. And there's always a problem doing a handsome man just like a beautiful woman. You know, there's, you can't just get away with making them look good. You got to get into the character and the personality and all that sort of thing, individuality. But with you, I mean, it was a, wait till you see it.
Go ahead,
Take a look
well,
at it.
let's see it. Brian,
Feel a
this is
little like Vanna White.
from all of us to you.
Hope there's no glare on it.
Oh,
There you are, Brian.
Goodness. Isn't that great?
We're going to take a break.
That's a nice one, pal.
Hey, we have got
Thank you, guys.
a very special
That's-
guest after
that's
this
wonderful.
break. You get to admire yourself for about 2.5
Oh, my
minutes.
goodness.
This is a special edition of Today on NBC.
Good
I'm honored. No, thank you so very much. Thank you so very, very much.
Right, a few weeks back, you had the pleasure of conducting the first live sit-down interview ever with the artist formerly known as Prince. We all enjoyed watching that, and particularly liked the fact that he made fun of your shoes. Well, since we know he's one of your very favorite entertainers, the artist is back this morning with his band to sing, to perform a combination of two songs. Get out! With you and
Look at this! believe it. I don't believe it.
All right, hit it, guys.
Looks good on you.
Whatever you do, may God be with you. Don't you let nobody fool you. Just keep on keeping your cool. Wherever you go, remember to let your love flow. When the competition get tacky, Brian, brother, you keep on wearing your khakis. Working part-time in a 5 and dime. My boss was Mr. McGee. Told me several times that he didn't like my time, 'cause I was a bit too leisurely. Seeming I was busy doing something close to nothing but different than the day before. That's when I saw her. She walked in through the outdoor. Come on. Cranberry parade. Kind you find in second-hand store. Cranberry parade. If it was warm, she wouldn't wear much more. Cranberry parade. I think I love you, Brian.
You are too much. You are too much. You are too much.
Today on NBC. What a cute couple. So, how great was that?
That's you know, first of all, it's unbelievable that he's here. Secondly, it's unbelievable that he wrote a song for me. And thirdly, the outfit is
particularly unbelievable. We should mention that he went out and bought that after he saw what you were wearing here this morning.
What does Maite think of this?
It was her idea.
And the tags are still on the suit.
Shorts, man. Also, she said.
You'll hate me for saying it, but I think he looks fantastic in it. Yeah.
Also, she told me to impersonate you. I'm supposed to go. Take care, Brian.
I love it.
All right, now Bryant, as we get set to say some final words, I think we were all struck by something you said in the first half hour this morning, that among the things you will miss the most will be obviously the crew here at the Today Show, the men and women who work behind the scenes every day to put this program on the air, and I think it's fair to say they feel the very same way. We asked them what they'll remember most about you.
413 down here.
Kill, step up, private. Well, private. Take.
Brian has a lot of idiosyncrasies. He's extremely neat.
Very neat, very neat.
He is the most fastidious person.
I once saw him separate his M&Ms by color. I thought that was rather compulsive.
When you eat M&Ms, you have to eat them with a method. I mean, you have to eat them, like, in order.
Bryant is a guy who No matter how much stress he is under, no matter how hard he has worked, he always looks great.
Not many people know this, but his pen matches the color of his underwear, which matches the color of the suit and the color of the tie. And this has been going on for a long time.
This is one of the educational birds from the Buffalo Zoo.
Bryant doesn't like anything with wings that flap.
Again,
Don't let him start flapping those things.
If something starts flapping, and he's out the door.
Now, this thing can't fly, right?
Bryant's always left the visual portion of the show up to me. However, there is an occasion every once in a while where he'll ask for a shot or two.
Can I direct for just a little bit? Can we get a shot from one of your other cameras? Let me get a shot of this. Here, guys. Tighten up. Can we turn that camera that took the high shot of there and turn it around to the fountain?
The best thing in the world is when Bryant's been directing a little too much, and we like to get a little revenge on him and try to catch him when he's not paying any attention.
It's not unusual to find that I'm in love with you.
You don't see Bryant flustered all that much. One time I remember in particular was when his daughter was on the show talking with R.L. Stein.
It reminds us of our next one here, which comes from Kara in Schenectady, New York. Why don't you read that one, Julie?
I wasn't really a Goosebumps fan.
That was probably the one only moment that he was quite nervous. He was sure glad it was over, and it went very well.
Bob Stein, thanks very much. Good seeing you.
Thanks, Brian.
Jillian, thank you.
This is good.
Yeah. We're back in just a moment.
She turned out to be a pro just like him.
He's a teddy bear when he wants to be, and he's tough when he wants to be. I think that would makes him the best interviewer in the business.
To last this long on any one show is a major accomplishment. I don't think people quite realize it, so I'm going to be kind of sad. It's the passing of an era.
That was nice. That was very nice.
That was very good.
Is this the part where I'm supposed to say something?
It is.
Yeah.
You knew, huh?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I kind of prepared some things to say, but I'm going to botch them. I read once where Cary Grant said he doesn't mind being well known, but he's embarrassed of being recognized. Having been recognized for 2 hours now, I'm not embarrassed at all. I am humbled. I'm grateful, and I'm proud to have the friends and colleagues that I do on this show. I don't want to make more of this than it is. Television is not medical research, and 15 years is not a lifetime. But 15 years has been about a third of my life. And it has been it's been a real pleasure and a genuine privilege to represent this program and the wonderful, wonderful people who put it on. I've had a great time. I really have. I've had a great time. I hope that you have enjoyed it nearly as much, even a fraction as much, as I have. Thank you all very much. I mean that.
I think anything we have to say pales in comparison to what you just did. So very simply, to Bryant.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Thank you, Robin. Thank you.